Look, I know that there's some books I probably shouldn't review. I know that, okay? In fact, when I saw the cover of this book, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas, I think. Anyways, when I saw the cover, I just thought, oh, this is one of those books. And like I said, maybe a guy my age shouldn't review a book like this. Because I know this book wasn't meant for me. I know House of Earth and Blood is meant for somebody, but it's not me. I know it's meant for somebody because it's number one on the New York Times bestseller list in hardcover fiction. Now, it might not stay number one for long, but this author, Sarah Maas, or Sarah J. Maas, evidently has a lot of fans buying her book. She has enough fans to make her book number one for a week, so, I mean, that's something. And then I read what House of Earth and Blood is about. And I'm not going to get into all that because you can get that at any book blogging site. And when I was reading this about, I thought, this is one of those books. It's basically, it sounds like a hodgepodge of mixed up magical creatures like shifters and witches and sprites and water beasts. What else is there? Nymphs. Reading this from the first couple pages, wraiths, vampires, dragons, a bunch of stuff that a guy my age has difficulty keeping up with. And yes, I'm already biased against the book, or I was already biased against the book before I started reading it. I admit it, but maybe, just maybe, House of Earth and Blood isn't really it's one of those books after all. Maybe House of Earth and Blood is really well written and deserves to be number one. And I know no book, I can quotes, deserves to be number one, but you know what I mean. Maybe it actually is a good, well written book. A genre can be meant for somebody who's not me, or I don't know, is that a genre can be meant for somebody who is not I. I have to figure that one out. A genre, you know what I mean again, but it can not be meant for somebody and still be a solid, well-written book. So that's my question. Is House of Earth and Blood actually well-written? Well, let's take a look at the first page. And I don't have a copy of the book because I read it on my phone, and I'm using my phone to make the audio or to make this video. So, here it is. First sentence. There was a wolf at the gallery door. Okay, it's not a bad first sentence. I kept reading. Which meant it must be Thursday. Which meant Bryce had to be really God's damn tired if she relied on Danica's comings and goings to figure out what day it was. All right, so we've got this. We've got this God's damn tired. And I try to keep profanity off my videos. I might put some of it in my blog, but try to keep it out of the videos. But it is in the book, so I don't want to do bleeps and stuff like that because that's kind of lame. All right, anyways, the author establishes in that sense there's more than one God in this fictional realm, but does it with some profanity in the second sentence. And the sentence isn't really a sentence, it's a string of dependent clauses without an independent clause. And profanity in the second sentence, all right, I can deal with that, but then you got a run-on fragment, whatever. Okay, nobody else cares about that. The heavy metal door to Griffin Antiquities, I hope I spelled that right when I did that, thudded with the impact of the wolf's fist, a fist that Bryce knew ended in metallic purple painted nails in dire need of a manicure. A heartbeat later, a female voice barked, half muffled through the steel, "Open the hell up, B. It's hot as shit out here." So hell is spelled with one L, and fecal matter, I guess, is very, very hot in that realm. Okay, again, this is it's one of those books. Again, Dialogue sounds like, how elementary school kids sound when they're learning to cuss for the first time. It just sounds stupid. That's what the dialogue sounds like. Maybe I'm old, but I prefer fantasy, and I guess this prefers any genre. It doesn't rely on profanity. I don't mind profanity in books, but this one seems to rely on it a little bit already. And I've read further in the book. I've read a little further. Language doesn't get much better. I'm not a prude. I wrote best porn jokes ever. It's on my blog. None of my porn jokes require profanity. Nick? In case you haven't figured it out, House of Earth and Blood, it's not for me. The good news is that the author made it obvious after one page. I didn't get suckered into reading a book that I thought I'd like, only to get sucker punched later on. House of Earth and Blood isn't for me, but, it's obviously meant for somebody. And I used to like this genre. So I was going to compare this to, like the fantasy and sword and sorcery novels that I used to read decades ago before I got tired of the genre. But I can guess how House of Earth and Blood fans would react when they saw the titles or a title of one of my favorite fantasy novels from decades ago. They'd probably react, ugh, It's one of those books again. All right, thanks for watching. And I'm curious about what you think either about this book or about the writing style in this book. If you haven't read it, leave a comment and you can visit my blog, dysfunctionalliteracy.com.